what I was afraid of. Such a kill on the loose by the merchants who were devastating the tree. I do hate to impose on you, but I would feel much happier if it were gone. arigatou gozaimasu. May such a tragedy never be repeated. What a relief to see you back safe and sound, and with barely a scratch. I am so very grateful. And I can only apologize for the grim scene you had to see. I confess it will be a challenge, but we must keep smiling. A fixed smile is a storekeeper's guile. And events transpired just as young Yataro feared. Poor boy. He has a sad heart. Natsume tells me he was born and raised in a small village, somewhere outside the region. A rare place of peace, which somehow managed to escape the wars of the samurai. Until one day, when he happened upon a warrior who had fallen in battle nearby, and helped him back to the village to nurse his wounds. And do you know what the samurai did to repay this debt of kindness? Something very awful indeed. He burned the place to the ground. The entire village. All that was left were a handful of villagers and acres of charred land. The boy's parents were killed that day too. So many tragedies fill our world. So you see, Yataro is very wary of strangers. Wary of letting down his guard and suffering again as he suffered then. I just hope cherishing Minato as he cherished his village offers his anguished spirit a little comfort.
Feels strange knowing it's gone. Almost lonely somehow. Fighting each other. Not Kingtusk shouldn't be here. Not in a place like this. Chief, I think the sensei would want to examine it. Can you take it down?
Let's move. things in place. Let's soften you up.
I had a feeling you wouldn't take much longer dispatching that thing. Excellent work. But look at this place. Clouds of spring blossoms here in the snowy peaks. That was an unusually powerful boar. Must have left the old Blossom Trail and crossed the snowy mountains to get here. And it would have to be tough to make that journey. But how could one Kingtusk be so different from another? And why is it so hot here? There shouldn't be flowers blooming in the snow like this. We should get back and report to the sensei.
Can you hear me? Either of you. If you can hear, then answer.
Natsume, dosta? Are you in trouble?
A huge kimono. Here in Minato.
Oi, Natsume, what's going on? What huge kimono? We need to get back to town fast. I've got a very bad feeling about this. The bird of auspice? Attacking? It's just another kimono in the end. Not to be trusted. First things first, let's make sure everyone's safe. What a damned mess!
Ujishige-san! Thank the spirits you're back safe. The town is... it's too awful. But we have to tend to the wounded. Can you see what you can do? We need help. All the help we can get. Arigatou gozaimasu. The last of the fires have finally been put out. It was the bird of auspice. Amaterasu attacked us. She destroyed people's homes. Tried to kill people even. We did our best to defend ourselves, but it was so sudden. The hunters had their hands full just trying to get people to refuge. Karakuri all over Minato are in ruins. Even the spirit wheel.
The situation is dire on the seaward side of town. Every residence lies in ruin.
We were powerless to do anything. All we could do was run for cover. It was pitiful. The bird of... well, Amaterasu has flown over the town in the past, but she's never shown any sign of attacking before. We never felt that we were in any danger from her. I suppose we were reassured by that. We felt secure, but we'd been lulled into a false sense of security.
Kemono are oblivious to the feelings of humans. Large kemono, the Great Bear and Amaterasu, for example, see humans like ants. A nuisance easily brushed aside. But we treat kemono as they treat us. If they are a nuisance, we too strive to eliminate them. What in times of peace you call the bird of auspice, in times of war, you will simply call the enemy.
You're so right.
What is lost. We must turn our faces from the past and gaze into the future.
But what can we... Actually, yes, you're right again. There is something I can do.
Perhaps a perusal of my wares would be as good a place to start as any. And what of you, Hunter? A fine idea. The sight of your fulgurant face will bring warmth to many a cold heart.
I have a good picture of how things are around the fort now. I could hear everything over the Karakuri. No doubt there's a connection with this disaster. It's imperative that we act swiftly, although I'm at a bit of a loss to know quite how. For the time being, ask around and see what details you can discover about Amaterasu. I need to gather my thoughts.
This is the end. What mishap is this? What a miserable sight. The hunter's town in such disarray. Were there more like you among your ranks? Perhaps this tragedy could have been prevented. But for mere mortals, the aggressor was too strong. The kemono grow ever more desperate. They tussle for territory. They clash for prey. Hunger now drives them to kill one another. And Minato is not the only casualty. Soon across all of Azuma, nature will be destroyed. Plants will wither. Lizards will howl. Mountains will crumble. Until finally rising waters will cover it all. But in you is the power to stop this. In you, there is the seed. For some, it is a duty. For others, destiny. And for you, you have the strength to hunt these gargantuan kemono. But do you have the will? What compels you to hunt now? Oh, so your answer has changed. You have been shaped by your experiences in Minato, perhaps. There is resolve in your words, unfaltering and true. Which leaves but one thing to say. You must value life, or all that awaits is death. Above all, survive.
Remember, Hunter, death punctuates your worldly deeds. So live, you must.
Everything we see and touch turns to dust eventually. Objects, people, places. Minato is no different. It must have an end. Like everyone else, I've seen my fair share of ends. More than my fair share, perhaps. The village I grew up in burned to the ground overnight. The thieves who torched it, a pile of rotting corpses. Daimyo Ichido, destroyed by war, then finished by Kemono. Everyone fights it, but when the time for your end comes, nothing can save you. I learned that a long, long time ago. But even after this horrible attack, I see a flicker of hope in your eyes. I see defiance. I know someone else with eyes like yours. But I don't understand where your strength comes from.
That giant bird did this, surely.
We know Amaterasu was attempting to establish territory around the old castle. That resulted in the ousted Rasetsu's failed attempt at taking the Spirit Isle. Yes. We're seeing more and more Kemono leaving their usual stomping grounds. And there can only be one logical cause, of course!
Of course. Maybe this is one time we should just jump to the conclusion, Sensei?
All across Azuma, and perhaps beyond, the celestial thread that sustains Kemono is drying up. That explains why Amaterasu targeted the town. Celestial thread is now in abundant supply here.
Are you trying to say...
Exactly. It's trying to absorb Minato into its territory. Reviving the Karakuri on the Spirit Isle was... cavalier.
But that was done for Minato's survival. The Hime-sama, the elders, everyone agreed it was the right thing to do. Anyway, what's done is done. Now we have to eliminate this bird before it gets too damn comfortable in our town. We need your skills here. Find out where Amaterasu is now.
No. The burden's too great for a lone hunter. And besides, rather than blindly searching, waiting here would be far more practical. We can be sure it will return. It will be eager to conclude its territorial claim.
Then we have to bolster our defenses. And fast. Can we ready the Karakuri we used against the Earthbreaker? This is akin to siege warfare, though the investment is a single foe. We need to prepare and deploy carefully. I'll take command.
Goodness, Ujishige! Such motivation and not a sake cup in sight!
Who do you think I am? I was a samurai general once. Now, I've got 100 things to do. I'll leave the Karakuri with you.
Well, his military expertise will certainly be useful. But we can't ignore the overwhelming strength of our enemy. We need a secret weapon. In fact, I was just talking to Natsume about that. It's probably better if she explains herself. You should find her assessing the damage to the spirit wheel.
Just when we'd managed to get the wheel working again. Now it's completely mangled. What we did on the Spirit Isle was... No. It's alright. I can fix this. I've just been talking to Suzuran-sensei. Do you remember what I told you before about how there used to be another tower next to the spirit wheel? A second giant Karakuri? From what I can tell by studying that stone tablet, it was a weapon used to repel Kemono. I think we can reconstruct it.
Making it sound easy. Obviously, we couldn't possibly build it from scratch at this stage. But if we fix the wheel and hooked another old Karakuri into its mechanism, we should be able to make it work like the other tower did. Or at least, that's the theory. The first stage is to have Ren-san and her crew repair the main structure. We could really do with your help too. Would you be able to gather the materials we need for the Karakuri part? It's a very old device that I can't put together with things I have lying around. It's going to take some rare materials with unusual properties. As it happens with the kemono fighting each other for territory at the moment, their bodies seem to be undergoing changes. We might be able to get the sort of materials we need from these clashing kemono, but they're fiercer than ever. So please be extra careful. I don't want you to get hurt. Arigato. Then let's not waste any time.
Not more trouble. If Minato's destroyed, where will we go?
It's our job to shore up defenses as well as everything else. I just wish I had more hands.